Hi, I'm back. The phone rang and it just stops. I don't want to start the video over, so I'm gonna just use this as the continuation, part two. As I said, we started studying together and going taking some classes together. I didn't go into the ministry school, but I just took different classes to learn more, and I did go into addiction studies in taking college, and that was a good experience. But I just want to share a little bit about our relationship together. Phil was a very patient, loving man, and I'm not just saying this because he's my husband and I love him, but he truly was very patient, and he put up with a lot of things that I was dealing with because I we got involved when I was a year sober and moved in when I was about 6 months later, a year and a half sober, and a lot of people in the program were just like not agreeing with that. They didn't think we would make it. And in all honesty, I don't think if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have stayed with him. I had a lot of problems going on because of my childhood abuse, and I was in therapy, and he put up with a lot of it. It's hard to stop. It was hard to stop my old behaviors. I stopped drinking and using, but I had a rage problem, and a lot of times I put it out on him, and he's the one who had to take the brunt of it. And he didn't walk away from me. He stuck with me. He would tell me, when you get like this, I'm taking a walk, and you're gonna do what you got to do to get to stop. He said, I pray that you pray, and you take time to pray to God. And he used to tell me to hit a pillow, I got to anger out, write, and journal. My therapist had me doing that. But it was tough for the first 5 years of our relationship, but it got better, and fortunately we stuck together. And he stuck with me through the hard times and the good times, and I stuck with him. I I got diagnosed with lupus and been in a wheelchair, and he was my main caregiver. And he used to say he lives to take care of me. That was his goal, to live. And I used to tell him, no, I can't be, to make your goal for you. And I tried to make his life happy, and I tried to do what I could for him. And he did the best he could for me. And I'm blessed to have him in my life. And I feel sad because he's gone, and I felt angry and that he was taken away from me. The way he was taken away from me. My caregiver came to our house and was exposed to COVID and told us when she got there. And I said, why didn't you call us? Why did you have to come here? And then I got COVID, and he said, they said that he didn't have it. And then the autopsy said he died from COVID. It stopped his heart right in front of me. He didn't have any breathing problems, and we both had it, and we felt miserable, but it wasn't bad enough to be in the hospital. He didn't go to the hospital. I tried to get him to go, but the doctor said he didn't need to go. And then he died right in front of me. He stopped breathing. It feels like a nightmare. But I share his story because he is a beautiful man, and he changed my life. He helped me become a lady. When he met me, I was just a raging lunatic is how I used to describe it. I was addicted to rage. It was drugs and alcohol and men and abuse all my life. And then I got sober, and I started to take the steps to change, and with the 12 steps and the therapy. And then I met him, and he told me the way it is. He didn't sugarcoat things. He told me the truth. It's like before we even got together, he asked me, when are you going to grow up and act your age? And that really pissed me off, but it planted a seed. And I didn't like what he was saying, but it planted a seed, and it changed me, and we weren't even together at that time. There's so much I could share, and it would take days. But I could just see Phil was a gentleman. He was a gentleman from the day I met him till the day he died. No, he wasn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. I know I can make him come across perfect because I love him so much. Well, we all have our faults. But see, we talked things out when we had our disagreements. I yelled things out, he talked things out, and then I learned to talk instead of yell. I love you, Phil. I miss you. I'd do anything to get you back, but you're in my heart. You're always in my heart. You're right here. I have his ashes in here. You're always right in my heart. I Today is a special day because he'd be celebrating 31 years and we would be celebrating it together. But today I want to celebrate it with you who follow me online so I could keep Phil's memory alive, his spirit alive. I want to thank everybody for your support in letters and emails. It means a lot to me. I have no family to reach out to. The friends I have are online, and now I'm blessed to be in assisted living. I am so grateful for my life, even though I feel like I'm not, because Phil's gone and a part of me died with Phil. But slowly I'm starting to want to live and not just hide under those covers. I had an offer to move with somebody, with friends that would take care of me and I wouldn't even have to pay rent. But I chose to stay here. My gut feeling told me to stay here. And it's hard for me to explain it, but I just know I have to stay here. And I love my friends that offered me to live with them. I love them. They're nice people. But my gut feeling said I had to stay here. And I'm here. And I'm following that gut feeling. And a lot of people think it makes sense to stay here, and some people don't. And they don't understand why I didn't take that offer. It was like a one-time, lifetime offer or something. I mean, a dream come true, but I just know in my gut feeling that I can't do it. Right or wrong, I just can't do it. But God has brought these people into my life for a reason, and we're friends and we'll continue to be friends. But I just have to stay here. I am so grateful for a loving God that brought Phil into my life. I'm going to continue to make videos and share more about Phil. And I don't like to keep the videos real long because it gets too long sometimes and people just can't listen to it. But I want to share with you the love that Phil have taught me, that God put into his being, his soul. And Phil shared with me. He shared with me things that I've never heard or learned from anybody. And it will take time to share all that stuff. But if you follow me on my YouTube, you'll be able to hear some of the things that helped me change my life. I was a drug addict. I was an alcoholic. I hated who I was. And today I love who I am. And it's been a long process to get to this point. And when Phil died, I felt like I lost it. And I hated who I was because he was gone. And I felt like, I just felt like it was a nightmare. But I grabbed on to God like I always do. And even stronger than I ever have in my life. And the grieving pain that I feel sometimes feels terrible, like the end of the world. But the peace that I feel from God is stronger than it's ever been. And it's like a piece of heaven that I feel. I really feel what Phil is feeling in heaven. I believe it. I prayed out and I asked God to please help me feel what Phil is feeling right now so I know he's okay. And I felt heaven, peace, floating. Everything is okay. I learned that I can be okay even when I don't feel okay. And I still miss you, Phil, and I still love you, and I still have those times where I feel like it's the end of the world and I hate everything because you're gone. Because you're gone. Because I love you with all my heart. Phil Contreras, Philip Jesse Contreras, you're a beautiful man. Now you're one with God. And I feel the oneness that you are now with God. And I feel no pain as I'm saying this. It's a beautiful feeling. I wish that everybody could feel this. And I believe that this is the feeling we get when we pass on. And I can't wait till the day that I'm with you. But until then, I'm going to live the best life that I can to share your love with others. You have won your Emmy. Phil always said that death is the Emmy for living life. My sponsor, Doris Wells, used to say that, and we asked her if we could take that saying, and she said yes. Well, all the sayings that we hear in the program has always come from somebody. It didn't come from Phil. It didn't come from Doris. It came from somebody that told her. And it just goes on and on. But death is the Emmy for living life, I believe. We'll be one with our Creator. And I know you're watching over me, Phil. I can feel it. And every time I've reached out and cried out to God for you, for me to feel your spirit, I have. I feel your spirit, and I know you're here watching over me and everyone else. I just want to share the joy that Phil Contreras brought into my life. So I ask that you continue to follow me so I can come on, and if you click and follow me, it will let you know when I make a new video. Phil, I love you. You helped me turn into a beautiful lady, a beautiful child of God. I believe we're all children of God, but I didn't believe it, and Phil helped me believe that, along with the other people in the program that helped me. Phil had a wonderful sponsor. I had wonderful sponsors. And God continues to bring people to help me grow and live one day at a time the best that I can. I don't hide my pain. When I feel that pain, I let it out because it will build into me like a bomb and it will explode and destroy me. So I don't do that anymore. I share my pain. I get it out and I ask God to take it. I've shared a lot about my story, so I'm going to be sharing on my YouTube more about Phil and I together, how we went through our ups and downs, how we went through when his son was sent to prison for life in 1996, how Phil dealt with that. I'll be sharing more on that. How he dealt with the loss of his mother in 1996 also. How we dealt together with my son trying to kill me in 2001. And how I dealt through with that and how Phil helped me. How we dealt with different things that happened in life when I was diagnosed with lupus and dementia. And when Phil started getting aches and pains from older age. Fortunately, he didn't have a lot of illnesses when he was younger, but they started at 65 for him, and he passed away at 73. I try to make things into a positive in it, and it was really hard for me to make Phil's death into a positive because I love him. Because he became my life because I had nobody. But see, God was my life. God was before Phil. And that's why today, even though I feel alone and scared at times, I'm not, because God is first. Phil put God first before me. I put God first before him, and that's why we stayed together. And we talked things out when we had disagreements. And believe me, I had a lot of disagreements. I'm a stubborn sometimes. Or sometimes, all the time. Yep. Phil would be telling me, yep, all the time. But we learn to accept each other, and we learn to be with each other, our faults, meaning, the things that he didn't like about me and the things I didn't like about him. We were able to talk and learn to change ourselves. It wasn't about me changing him. It wasn't about him changing me. It was about us changing ourselves so we can have a peaceful relationship. And we did. We had a beautiful relationship. I'm not saying that we never argued or we never had disagreements, but we actually never have argued. I mean, after the first 5 years of our relationship, I haven't argued with him. I used to. I used to pick and fight and try to cause all this chaos because I hated who I was. But Phil taught me that I was a beautiful person down deep inside, and I had to dig that out through taking the steps and loving myself and letting other people love me. And Phil learned to do that. He didn't teach me to do that until he did it himself. He had to learn to love himself. And he did that through this 12 steps, through his sponsor. There's so much I want to share with you. So I hope that you follow me and take this journey with me, sharing Phil's love and Phil's life in our life together. Thank you. And Phil, happy birthday. 31 years sober. Now you're with your mother, your father, with God, with our loved ones who passed away, Doris and Nancy and John and Greg, and so many others that I can't remember all the names of passed on. You're all together, you're one in that big meeting in the sky. I root you. I love you forever. I miss you. And I made this necklace. I don't know if you could see exactly. Says here, Phil is in my heart. Always. Can't. And here it is. Getting the words. Can you see them? I made it. I love Phil. And I love you all. And I thank you for following me. Have a blessed day.